Uh, he may not get it presently because it is a heavy snowfall outside. So he may get it tomorrow. Okay, so this is the end of second chapter. Third chapter, that is the 1001 bottles. We are on third chapters now. 1001 bottles. So in the 1001 bottles, there comes the character, the new another character, that is Fear Inside. Okay, remember the character Fear Inside. In the third chapters, there comes another character, that is Fear Inside and his dog. Fear Inside was having a coat or a cart and a coach along with a horse. Okay, a horse coach. He was riding a horse coach. Now, how you have the concept of cab or the tourist travelings or the vehicles? Earlier, then that was the concept of cart or the horse coach. Okay, so he was having his own horse cart, and in the horse cart, he brought all the forgotten luggage of this griffin to the inn. Okay, he was standing outside or opposite of the inn. There comes the Griffin and Mr. Hall, Mrs. Hall. So this Griffin or the strange man, he was demanding to the Fear Inside and his workers to carry his luggage very carefully or carry it very, with care. So he was about to tell, because those luggages were carrying, or in the luggage it was 1001 bottles. The bottles were made up of glass, means glass jar. The whole luggage was consist of manually written notes, which was helpful for his experiment. And the second one is that the bottle or the jars. Okay, he he was about to order them that handle everything very carefully, but there comes a dog and it bites or it rips over the gloves of this strange man, and also it rips the pant of the strange man. So as I have told you that the strange man is invisible. Okay, he doesn't have the personality, the physical appearance or the physical personality is not there. So there it so happens that when this dog bites or it rips the gloves of this strange man or griffins, the gloves comes out and there the fingers are not visible. So he thought that if the same case will be visible by or viewed by the all society's people, because all the society people were standing out, they were looking at the luggage, the huge heavy luggage which was carried by the Fear Inside. Okay, so they were worried to see that, they were very curious to see that. Here, Griffin worried that in such a situation, that if the whole society or the people of Iping they come to know that I don't have the physical body, then it will be the I will be the mouthpiece of or the talk piece of all the mouth. Okay, so he immediately went to his room to change the gloves and his dress. There, Mr. Hall comes to the room of this strange man without knocking the door. Okay, he comes inside, and there the strange man was, in his, strange appearance. There, this Mr. Hall, okay, this Mr. Hall, he was about to recognize, what was the strange thing that he was sensing there, but immediately he sends the he sends this strange man, sorry, this Mr. Hall out, and he closes the door immediately. So this is the end of the chapter third, that is the 1001 bottles. The fourth chapter is Mr. Cuss interviews the stranger. Remember, the fourth chapter is Mr. Cuss interviews the strange man. Mr. Cuss interviews the strange man. So what happens here is that Mr. Cuss is also the doctor. Professionally, Mr. Cuss is also the doctor. Okay. See here, one familiarity, okay, or one same thing between this Mr. Cuss and also uh, Griffin or the strange man is both are initially they are from the medical science background. Okay, Mr. Cuss is professionally a doctor. As I have told you when I was dealing with the summary of the novel, that Griffin, the strange man, was also earlier he was the student of medical science. Okay, but his own interest made him to leave the medical science, and he has jumped into the stream of science and technology. Okay, so here Mr. Cuss or Dr. Cuss was curious and also jealous about the fame of this strange man. The whole people of Iping village, they had seen 1001 bottles were carried by the workers, and they were curiously they were very curious to know that what is the necessary of these bottles to this strange man. Okay, so Mr. Cuss, he took the responsibility to interview this strange man and to gather the information about him. So he goes to meet him, and this strange man, he narrates all the stories regarding his life, that he is experimenting on one experiment where he would like to make the body of persons like air, which can be sensed and which can be felt, but it could not be visible to anyone. But when the person wants to make himself visible, only then the body can be visible. Okay, but this person was, I mean, the strange man was successful to invisible himself, but he was failed to re return the policy back. I mean, he was failed to reverse, or he was failed to visible himself back. Okay, so later Mr. Cuss, or the Dr. Cuss, he went on to the greater extent to ask some personal questions. So there he revealed his own color, that he removed the gloves from his hand, and his hand was invisible. So with the fingers, with the help of fingers, he start twinkling, or he start pinching the nose of this this Mr. Cuss or Dr. Cuss. See, it is really strange, or it is really very scary when you feel, or when you sense that somebody is twinkling, or somebody is poking your nose, and you can't sense, you are sensing and you can't recognize who is touching your nose. Okay, so the same thing, the same strange thing was happened with this Mr. Cuss or Dr. Cuss, and he left the place in the scare mode, or with the great fear. He ran away from the place to the place of vicarage, to the place of priest. So this is what happened in the fourth chapter. And in the fifth chapter, that is the burglary at the vicarage. Okay, the burglary at the vicarage means the robbery at the vicarage. Vicarage, as I have told you, that vicarage means the priest house or the priest. Okay, so in the fifth chapter, there is the introduction of two another important character, that is Mrs. Bunting and Mr. Bunting. Remember, in the fifth chapter, there are two other interesting character come, that is Mr. Bunting and Mrs. Bunting. Okay, it was early in the morning, that is 4 o'clock in the morning. As I have told you that the novel was written in the year 1897. Then there was no concept of electricity, okay, or the current or the power in the night. Okay, so the candles were the great or the torch for them to help to spend their night. Okay, so there Mrs. Bunting, she senses that somebody, an unknown person has arrived to their house to rob or to steal something. So she wakes up her husband. So her husband, okay, with the help of poker means, as I have told you, that that is an instrument which is used for the building construction. Okay, or that shifts this coals, idli, okay, to the hearth means, that is what is that, firehouse, okay, or the fire lamp. Okay, so he takes that hearth there. So along with that, he went out, or he searched all the house for this strange man, or for this robber who was a thief. Okay, to search him and to beat him, to catch him. But he was recognizing that literally somebody has come inside the house, but he can't able to rectify who it is, because on the table, in the study room, on the table, there they have lit up the candle. Okay, and he could not understand who has lit up it. Then later, when he was there, he gets the sound of clinching of his cupboard. Okay, he thought that somebody was breaking his cupboard. Then he goes to the treasure room. There he could sense the sneezing sound. The couple, that is Mr. Bunting and Mrs. Bunting, they went along with the sneezing sound. There they don't get nothing, but the sense that the back door of the house, okay, remember, the back door of the house was half opened, and they close it properly. Till the morning, they both start discussing who might have come to the house and what they might have done. Okay, so this is the end of the fifth chapter, that is the burglary at the vicar age. Sixth chapter, that is the furniture that went mad. So in the sixth chapter, it so happens that at the same time, 4 o'clock in the morning, their Mr. and Mrs. Bunting, in the fifth chapter, they have sensed it literally strange. Here in the sixth chapter, where the furniture went mad, there in the inn where this strange man was residing, there Mr. and Mrs. Hall, they were preparing for some hot drinks, and they recognized that the strange man was not there in the inn, and he had left his clothes in the room. Okay, so there, Mrs. Hall went to search for him. She senses literally some strange things, because there comes the strange man from the outside. He did not wear the cloth, so he has become invisible. Okay, so he flips the bed sheet. Okay, means he folds the bed sheet, and there she can see the bed sheet is flipping, but he can't. But the Mrs. Hall, she can't recognize who is doing these all things. And later, strange man hits the face of the Mrs. Hall with his hat, and he shifts the furniture from one place to another place. So immediately, with the great scary mood, she goes out screamingly with her, to meet her husband, and immediately, with the help of Millie, her assistant, she calls Vadgar. Okay, Vadgar is the man, a blacksmith. Okay, they call him to lock the door of this strange man. So this is the end of the sixth chapter, that is the furniture went mad, and the seventh chapter, that is unveiling of the stranger. So here, Vadgar and Mrs. Hall. Vadgar, remember, he's a blacksmith who comes to lock the door of this strange man. Okay, so here Vadgar comes to lock the door of strange man. There, along with the Vadgar, Mrs. Hall, they go to meet Shackelford. Okay, Shackelford was the district magistrate, like how we have the concept of DC or SP. In the same way, district magistrate. Okay, they went to complain against the strange man, and he sends Bobby Jefferson. Bobby Jefferson was a policeman. When he went to arrest this Griffin, okay, or the strange man, he tells him that you don't have any rights to arrest me in the concept of being myself invisible, because making myself invisible is not a crime. So Jaffer tells him that, see, I'm not arresting you because that you are making yourself invisible, but you are a suspect that they, in the morning when you were not there in the inn, at the same time there was a robbery at the Vicar Age, or at the house of Mrs. Bunting and Mr. Bunting. So I have received a complaint. So on the basis of that, I am arresting you. Okay. So he start arresting him. There, this man, he start revealing his own color. Okay, he takes off his all clothes from his body. He becomes invisible. He run away from the place. This is what the unveiling of the stranger. Fine. So the eighth chapter, that is Transist. In it is a very small chapter. It finishes in one page. There comes the person called Gibbon. He was remember the character Gibbon. He was a naturalist amateur. Okay, he was working in his farmhouse or a garden. There, this invisible man, he comes. Now he doesn't wear the cloth, so he is completely invisible. This Gibbon could sense, he is not aware of all the strange things which is happening in the Iping. Remember, this Gibbon, okay, he is an amateur naturalist. Okay, he is working for the natural things of the village. He was behind everything, means he was not knowing anything regarding this strange man and what's odd going in the village, etc. Okay, so later, when this strange man, he comes and sits beside him, he is not visible. He makes making sounds of cussing, sneezing, coughing, everything. So Gibbon, he was scared of these things, and he runs away to the village. So this is the end of eighth chapter. So from the next class onwards, I go with the ninth and 10th, 11th chapters. Okay. So now, are you understanding the points? Is it clear for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.